the word decent doesn't apply to me.
Radio signal from another world. Sir?
Hello, sirs and madams. It's your buddy Admiral Teag. Welcome back. It's been an eventful dozen or so hours since we left you last after our stunning encounter with the amazing writing of a man whose career, I guess, we might be the number one chroniclers of, right? Germ, how does it feel after bathing in that hour's worth of Alex Kurtzman's storytelling?
Well, I finally stopped throwing up just a little while ago.
If that will happen. The lunch, the breakfast, the cream of mushroom soup, it all comes up. Hello to everybody. We got a new member, Sig Valdeson. Sig, you've done the right thing. Thank you for showing confidence to the channel and joining us. I really appreciate it. Sig Valdeson, sir, you are joining a fraternity and a group of mighty. You are part of a beautiful armada that is going to sail through these dark times for Star Trek fans and get us through till what I think I'm the only person who can't wait for the middle of next winter. But honestly, I think if everything goes more or less how we think, it'll be about this time next year that we start to hear about new non-Kurtzman green-lighted Star Trek projects. What do you think, Jer?
We might hear something. Yeah, around Christmas, early January of next year. That is if they can completely kill what's coming up for Kurtzman.
We've heard some stuff already. Even Doomcock is starting to talk about, he's referring to it as the Captain Archer prequel series, which makes more sense to the masses. If you're with this show all the time, you already know that. But Sig, thank you very much. This one's for you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Hello to Snortopoopus. Hello to the Trek Reviewer. Hello to Radioactive, my friend. Hello to Krimlon, who reminded me my show was on in 5 minutes and not a half an hour. You know what happened was, have you heard of AOC, Germ?
I've heard of AOC.
All right. Now, for those of our audience who do not know who AOC is, tell them, I forget what is the name that the people of this planet call AOC?
AOC.
That the woman that you call that is actually a dangerous Romulan time traveler called AOC. Do not approach. It's a temporal Cold War thing. Just stay away from AOC. Just leave her alone. Very powerful technology at her disposal. She has a disruptor and probably can contact Silic. What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, that would track. Something had to happen to her ass, and a disruptor is probably something that could get rid of that.
It's good personal protection. We've got Snorty. I think I said hi to. I think I said hi to Krimlon. Yeah, I did. But now you get it 3 times, Krimlon. Krimlon, it's good to see you. Sig Falderson is now a member. Mr. House Party 6. Star Trek Light, my friend. Thank you for being here, a founder of many of your memberships. It's great to see Mr. House Party 6. Good to see you, sir. And Radioactive with a $2 Greenlandian greenback super chat saying, I reminded Krimlon, who then reminded you. Guys, Radioactive and Krimlon are responsible for me being on time. Otherwise, I'd still be laying on the couch waiting for the pizza that should be here just about any minute. And it's going to be the most beautiful pizza you've ever seen. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to then wait like 90 minutes to 2 hours to be able to eat it. But we have had, it's been a crazy start to the year. And I guess my question to Germ stands. What do you think of that? Whoa, hey, Krimlon chiming in with $2 more. It says, lies, don't listen to that traitor Radioactive. Oh, that is very controversial, sir. Krimlon, Radioactive, thank you so much for the super chats. The Greenlandian $2 Greenlandian greenbacks. Everybody jumping in there, saying hi, being cool. Mr. House Party 6, thanking people. Guys, what can I tell you? This has been sort of a wild week and comes at the end of a wild January. So I guess we'll rewind, just go Germ. So you didn't really get a chance to fully answer. You got to steep in that hour of Alex Kurtzman's it's a craft, right? His writing is a craft.
Yeah, craft. Maybe witchcraft.
Probably some kind of witchcraft. There is so much going on in these Alex Kurtzman shows that he cannot handle. I would just say, we watch both together. What do you think of Mr. Kurtzman's handling of the topic of transgenderism versus that of Taylor Sheridan?
Well, one is very realistic, and the other one is pure fantasy.
You would call the balance Taylor Sheridan one very realistic. Yeah, you know what's funny is I
haven't dealt with them in Seattle. His objective and understanding is the most fantasy I've ever seen dealing with people like that.
Are you talking about with Kurtzman?
No, Kurtzman is actually the more realistic of it.
People like blood because all those characters are flawed and horrible.
Yes.
All right. Personal opinions aside, though, who puts the more watchable story about that topic on screen is what I'm saying.
No, obviously Sheridan, of course, but reality has nothing to do with people like that.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that if there's ever going to be a point where everyone accepts each other, someone like Alex Kurtzman is not going to be the bridge that he's do you think he's possibly driving people apart with some of these views?
I think that's his goal. Yes.
You call it a goal. I thought it was maybe a symptom. I said last night, I didn't know that if he had any scruples or any beliefs whatsoever. A lot of people believe that he's this really big time lefty, and that might be true, but for a good 6 years or so now, he's been crowdfunding this Star Trek. This is the toilet wine of television. We watched yesterday. We saw scenes where people's fingers were cropped off by the blue screen effect, and they couldn't afford to do the. Even as little as I do when I fix things would have been enough to slip it past people, and they just left it there. I was glad that we landed on that frame because there was a bunch of different things like that. There was too many to note. That whole episode was not of stream. Forget broadcast quality. I don't think that was of streaming quality.
That's not. I'm sure that his editor is an AI program.
At this point, there may be AI editing to some degree. I don't know what he's up to. I'm not going to make any accusations because that gets a little bit weird. Like nebulously, like we're on like the radio or whatever on streaming in public. So like if we defame him, like we could get in trouble. Like so we have to like make sure to use the alleged and stuff like that. So I think that Germ's probably right. It goes about as deep as he says. As far as his outlook, he probably would like to see people divided. I think he makes more money when people are at each other's throats. But I just don't think he has any real beliefs. I think that if he thought he would make more money backing team team red, he would back team red. I mean, he does back Team Red in the sense that I feel like a lot of his stuff is very flattering of communistic ideas.
Well, yeah, if you're going for Soviet red, he definitely backs the red.
I think it's more of a Chinese communist thing, but yeah, like he seems to be very down on that. And guys, hit the like and follow us, and do me a favor, stream out, tweet out off the browser that Admiral's live. Usually takes a few minutes for people to become of the realization that I'm actually on the air, especially when it's at the on Fridays, which becoming more and more regular. This week, everybody in New York got a week off and a week off of their vacation.
Yeah, I heard you have quite a bit of snow up there.
And it's because of a certain thing that Krimline has latched onto here that he's correct about, that we have this amount of snow. What happens is when the city unions and the city people are not happy with a given administration, what they do is they kind of allow the city to be shut down by the elements. Con Ed, they're private. There's huge fines. Hey, radioactive. Kurtzman allegedly loves defamation. It's his kink. It might be. Allegedly, right? It might be. We don't know. I would say this. He's been in litigation enough and is litigious enough to worry me to a degree about how he might react to anything. I don't think he's like a jolly fellow or a celebratory sort of lad that we would have a fun time with, or would be any fun drinking with at the bar. I mean, even if he's picking up the tab and backing you to gamble, Germ, you got to figure Alex Kurtzman's a tough hang. What do you think? And hello to Lombardi.
Yeah, he seems like the type of guy who will cover your bar tab, but only if you're buying the little fizzy girly drinks that he likes.
He'll cover your bar tab, but yeah, he'll start to look at you a little strange if you get anything like more masculine than even like a blue whale, right? It's like Alex Kurtzman is like that old Kids in the Hall skit, Girl Drink Drunk, where the guy, he's an alcoholic, but he can only drink girl drinks. Did you ever see that? Are you aware of that one?
I tried to stay away from that show.
Even though it's Canadian, it's a great show. RRTNZ is here. RRTNZ sent me a couple of funny things on X that I should probably remember to share. RR, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you, buddy. RR's been around the world. Okay, yeah, this one's pretty good. Here we go. Let's share some stuff from RR. RRTNZ, our buddy, sent me this great tweet. Remember this famous scene from, I believe, this one's Return of the King, right?
That might be, yeah.
So we have our wounded man of Gondor saying to mangy orc, "End it quickly." And then, of course, I love that the memer went with the pink hypertext. That's just the chef's kiss there. My pronouns are they, them. Dies of cringe. All right, I hear the pizza man. Hang on.
Well, Teag goes and pays the pizza guy. I'll just remind everyone, tomorrow night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the Saving Star Trek pre-show watch party on my channel. We'll be watching the conclusion of the Forge trilogy. And then immediately after that, we'll be back here on this channel for the review. It's going to be a great show. We wrap up the Vulcan storyline for Enterprise. Then we're moving on quickly to everyone's favorite from season 4, the Klingon episodes, where we find out why they don't have the ridges in TOS.
I've so got the pizza in hand. I don't. Hey, it's so good to see so many people here. You know what? I can't think of a better reason to miss to be late having pizza than to have these great friends over. Hi guys, welcome to Admiral Teague's Friday afternoon pizza party. Hello, Gap. It's good to see you coming in. And so that's the first one. So I thought that was a pretty good meme. And then meme number two, which is cool on a couple of levels here. It's Picard or whatever. It's Patrick Stewart and Paul Winfield, who's also, I don't know if you knew this, Jerem. You did. I bet you did though. Darmok, the other captain, it's Captain Terrell from Khan, right?
I may have known that at one point, but no, I guess I forgot that.
Sorry, I was muted. You know what? I've seen him now in a lot of other stuff. He's not, I guess, he's not super well known, but like in a lot of shows, like where they'll have like some form of like a corporate board or an organization, like he'll be like one of the corporate officers, like powerful presence, or like playing like police captains or something like that. Paul Winfield's got a lot of roles. He did a lot of different stuff. And you know what? Captain Terrell, one of the better performances in Wrath of Khan, honestly. Like that's a lot hanging on that performance.
Yeah, it was a very good performance.
He sells the crazy. He sells the mildly restrained thing. Now, guys, just so you know, this is Sirs and Madams. This is what I'm waiting on. Okay, this is called New York City Italian like money press makes these. And hey, radioactive. Thank you. Klingons allegedly have severe allergic reaction to Ruffles potato chips. We had a Klingon last night that I feel bad for. And thank you, radioactive, for the 5 Greenlandian greenbacks, but. You know what? We had a Klingon last night who was so soy that honestly, have you ever seen Trump imitate the people who transition to win weightlifting contests?
Yes.
And how hilarious. That's what it was like. It was like this Klingon was like, I love you, Mom. I'm going to do it for you. I just can't do it. He was so low energy and such a loser. It was one of the worst performances we've seen in Star Trek. And at the same time, like you and I we have what is considered one of the snarkier Star Trek shows that we don't have malice towards the actor really as much as the role. And I think that Jerem has at least one bite of this fantastic slice of pizza worth of reaction in him as to why I'm correct but just the voice changer modulation aspect alone, would you say that in some ways it was a little bit unfair to the young actor who had to play the role?
Yeah, this entire show is unfair to everyone on it. These people should be on a revival of Dawson's Creek, not Star Trek. Half of them probably shouldn't even be on television. They should be on Broadway. So I can't really hold them responsible for any of the stuff being put in front of them. There's no talent in that writing room. There's subversion at the head with Kurtzman.
All right.
They're just lucky to pay the rent.
All right. And great job in the center seat. You know what? You're correct. And the one thing I would say is this. Broadway's too high a compliment. Like, I don't know if you've been to, like, I don't know what the deal is on the West Coast. I don't know where their center of culture would be. Every town has like a Broadway. I don't know what Seattle's version of Broadway is, but you'd figure it'd be like Washington would have maybe the second best like theater scene. And hello, Trucker Martin. Like, I'm just trying to imagine here. Maybe LA has the population to support a play. But plays are like a very particular kind of thing. Hey, Kurtzman at Tanagra, when the ratings fell. We have heard that. That is out there. That's confirmed, and that may set us free. There may not need to be a Thursday Strange New Worlds. Like, only Germ and I will need to watch it so we can react. And that'll just be Thursday. Like, it'll just be part of the show. I don't know that there'll be a sci-fi CSI next week so much as there has been, but what an amazing month January has been. 100 more people. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Admiral Teagues. It's Friday streaming for vengeance. We have 3 shows. Teague's Intense Talk Show and Streaming for Vengeance are essentially the same, but Streaming for Vengeance is such a great name. I don't want to stop using it. And then Saturday nights, we come back at you with what I think is one of the greatest Star Trek experiences you can have post the death of the franchise. And whoa, your pronouns are now pizza sexual. Come on, my pronouns are like, I don't think even stating them is like a surrender, right? You're not supposed to state them.
Yeah, that's generally a better idea.
You know what? I'm talking to you, mister. You know what? Thank you for the $2 Greenlandian super chat. But yeah, I am a pan pizza roll. I mean, I like all kinds of pizza. I don't like pan pizza as much as I like regular New York pizza. The Brooklyn fold is the most superior. And I will say this. I think most of the reasons our world has so many problems is because by now, I thought, in Germ, tell me you didn't think this would be the case when you were a kid. By now, we would have recycled all the 2-liter Coke bottles into domes around our cities so that we could keep the air conditioning in and we'd be able to get a really high quality pizza to everyone in 20 minutes with a drone. It's not delivery, it's the drone now. No, it's delivery. All right. This gets some good pizza.
You'd be surprised half of the delivery in your town is actually DiGiorno.
You might be right, but I have been to this pizza place and I have watched these people prepare their fantastic pizza. So I know that this is authentic New York pizza in a store owned by Italians, and the pizza is made by Mexicans. And I don't know if you have this phenomenon by you, but do you have Mexican pizza guys?
Yeah, Mexican pizza guy is running a place called Mario's.
My Mexican pizza guy works for an Italian American guy in a place called like something or other pizza, right? My favorite around here is Gino's, but he's a little far away. So this place I found, it's really, really close. It's about a 3-block walk, and I give the guy like $5. I feel it's fair. However, on a day today where you had to walk across a sheet of ice, he got $6 for just $7 rather for delivering the pizza, which I feel is fair. I mean, I can't go any higher, but if everyone's as generous as me and no one sinks below 5, he's making like 3 deliveries an hour. That $21, under the big beautiful act, that's not taxable.
Yeah, I'm sure it's well worth going out in a blizzard for $6.
Well, for him, he's going out in the blizzard for his 17 an hour, right? Plus his 18 an hour in untaxable tips. So he's doing all right. 35 an hour for a guy who's just willing to work hard for other people who have the means to order a big, beautiful pizza.
They pay delivery people a lot different than they pay them here.
You got to make a minimum wage in New York. I don't think you get a minimum wage, although I don't know. I mean, maybe the guy's door dashing with industry. I have Mexican ice, not Mexican pizza. There may be ice in like northern Mexico this week, and 2 more Greenlandian greenbacks of our friend Crimlon. Crimlon, thank you very much. I want to thank the community, and I don't know if I should make a video or just do another member stream. The member streams, the evening ones seem to be popular. People like to drop in. We get 1 or 2 people at a time. It's never been a crazy rush. We had that one mass meeting where we all swore like the Agincourt oath together to go forth into battle. And that was great in November. I don't know how many that was a special channel membership meetup. And whoa, Crimlon with the $1.49 super sticker. I better see what kind of sticker that is. We have.
That is a hot dog.
That is a hot dog. All right. You know what? The humble hot dog, descendant of the Frankfurter, was originally served allegedly outside of baseball parks in Chicago by a guy who invented the bun because he had to loan people like napkins that they would never bring back, because back then napkins were linen. It's like a 19th century thing. But like the hot dog may have become popularized because of baseball. Oh, and we've got the rainbow. Okay. I need to do something for the rainbow. Do I have any rainbow related media? Let me see. What do I? I mean,
And,
I'm not putting up Tignatera. That would be mean. What's?
He also follows that up with
Oh,
the
hey.
unicorn.
We've got. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to do this without peeking the mic. Have I peeked the mic yet today?
Not yet.
Fascinatingly not. Unicorn. By doing it lower, I think I non-peaked the mic and got it deeper and richer. What do you think? It's possible.
I believe so.
And thank you, Crimlon. Crimlon, thank you. I need to think of something for the hot dog. I mean, I don't know. What is worthy of the hot dog? That is possibly the most American of foods. I consider hot dogs an American food. If you eat them any differently, they're Vienna sausages. What do you think?
Yeah, it's generally American unless you go the Polish route.
The bratwurst, the brat is the Polish version of the hot dog, and it's damn good. Oh wow.
Admiral Teag, incoming super chat.
There is a delay on this, but we've got a bunch of them coming in. $1.99 in super chat. First of all, $2 from RRTNZ. Our good buddy Welchie says today is a good day to cry. Jay Den. This was one of the worst things about this show. And Germ is with me on this, and I thought that maybe you would have a little more anger, but I guess you're not as bad-hearted as some people are when they see these things happen. Like you have either become a believer in or always have known that these scripts they're really subpar. It is absolutely impossible to make anything of people's performances during this one. So you seem to have become very forgiving of the cast.
Well, yeah, the cast, they're just looking to make a buck. They didn't create this stuff. Kurtzman did. So Kurtzman gets all my wrath. And not even that much. Sure, I would love to see his career destroyed, but I'd do it with a smile on my face.
Right, and if he limps along, like you're not going to lose your mind either. Like we don't need him destroyed, like from the business. Although I have a feeling he's really in trouble in the business. Guys, we've said this a few times. Kurtzman is a strike picket line crosser, and I think I'm one super chat behind, one super sticker behind from Crimlon. With the $1.99 super sticker with the behind the scenes slate. Yeah, because I forgot to change the stream to entertainment. Unfortunately, when you hit like, you don't get the little like clap board. But like I'll try to do that after the stream and maybe it'll work later. So if you're coming through later, do that. And if you're here now, by all means, please hit the like. I need likes. I need likes and I need hype. I have a hype pipe and a hype torch. And last night I was scraping the last little bit of hype resin from the inside of the hype torch. You know how that can be, Germ.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Anyway, let's get beautiful Sydney Sweeney back front and center here. You know what? It's even funnier with your face over hers, but here we are. I'll take that center chair. Anyway, I think that maybe next week is possibly going to be worse, and we still haven't seen Tilly. And this last episode, it wasn't as intensely rapid fire stupid. This was more ruminate on it stupid, and it it tried a little harder than most episodes, but it failed harder than any previous episode before because of the shortcuts and all like the lack of weight and the lack of really anything beyond when they did pay people for stagecraft. They're like that. What did you think of the Klingon compound, Bo? I mean, they should have had phasers, but what did you think of it?
I think they stole that off of another set. So, they didn't put anything originally Klingon on it. It's looks like they stole it off of a Western set. Or off of a Hun movie.
It could have been off of Rings of Power too, right?
That too.
They're somewhat connected to Rings of Power. And the last accusations of not enough money on screen for Rings of Power, maybe some of that got siphoned over to Strange New Worlds to finish. I mean, Strange New Worlds in this to finish it. Because Kurtzman, most of the rumors we've heard mean that about a week ago, he was told, that's it, shut it down, right? You can't go past tomorrow.
Yeah, that's one of the big rumors.
Most of the biggest rumors say tomorrow is the end. And believe me, it'll be a great day. And the most generous rumor I saw, Jerm, said August 21st, which I have a hard time believing, but maybe he will need callbacks for Strange New Worlds. That being said, how shocking was it to see some of those fucking horrible CGI mistakes and how low budget Academy was?
Yeah, like the disappearing hand, that's
hilarious.
That's something you fail at a technical school for.
Yeah, you're not getting...
It's not passing mustard at your freaking college. There's no way it should be making it to screen.
I believe they're called SVA, School of Visual Arts. It's not passing muster at your local IT art school. Let me put it this way. Why didn't they call our friend Neural Derp? Is it because they can't afford him?
I'm pretty sure that's it.
Or do you think they called Neural Derp and they're like, he's like, I'd love to do it. I love Star Trek. And they're like, well, we'll call you back. And just like, he likes Star Trek. He's disqualified.
Yeah, those are frightening words to people like Kurtzman.
We get a great super chat from RRTNZ, and we got another great super sticker from Krimwam. Radioactive has been active, which is a weird way of saying it, right? Radioactive is active, and I feel like the audience deserves a little bit of media. Let's give you guys just a little bit of media.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?
That was so controversial. Sir.
Sir. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are the best. You know what? I think that this is going to be Star Trek fans' year in hell. And I think that Germ, with a drib and a drab about every 2 or 3 months of Kurtzman Trek left in to be primed, we've got one wad, shall we call it, of Kurtzman Trek. And another, they're going to belly dump another one on us in a few more months. I don't know that we get out of the year without like 3 dumps, right? Isn't season 5 of Strange New Worlds 2 different 5-episode things? Like, he's spreading this out as much as he can, but hey, Radioactive Actual with $2 super chat says, late and pride behind the scenes. Guys, I just spared you the curious combination of laughing while belching because that was funny. And I was almost able to stifle the belch, but then Radioactive made me laugh. You guys are hilarious. I love it. Let's say, and Crimon for a $2 Greenlandian Greenback chat says, late in Pride behind the scenes. What we're having? Oh, we're having. So is it? Are we flying into Pride weather? You know what? Maybe another little piece of media is due now to celebrate some of this.
Admiral Teag, please stop using copyrighted material.
Germ, sometimes I feel like Kurtzman is watching over us, dogging us, watching over our shoulder, taunting us. Is it because he actually is kind of taunting us by virtue of us being fans of Star Trek?
I believe so. I believe he has malice toward anyone who actually loves this series.
Unless you're the right people. If you're the right people, he doesn't care. If he went to a gay drag show where they did Star Trek, and by the way, if you're running a gay drag show, we have nothing against you doing Star Trek. It can be funny, and it could probably be fun. God knows when my punk band used to play, there were some people who did some weird Star Trek related stuff as performance art that was always appreciated. It's like even things that would ordinarily offend you in a campy setting, Star Trek done intentionally campy for a campy audience of people drunk and on drugs having a wild partying time. Sure, wouldn't you say good stuff, right? No shade on that one.
Yeah, sure. They can express their opinions however they want.
Also, quite honestly, if it's done in good fun, like we're not like, how dare they insult Captain Kirk? And we'll get to what they said about Nerdrotic and Drinker later. Did you see the press they're getting?
No, I didn't.
There's a lot of incoming on them. Let me heart these Pride chats because you got to heart those. And RRTNZ with another mighty New Zealand, 2 New Zealand super dollar chats says, Hunter's Captain Nala makes Janeway look like Kirk. I would say that is possibly true. And I never really stopped to have to say, we didn't appreciate Captain Janeway the way we should have, because this might be the very worst Star Trek captain we've ever seen with Captain Nala. The only thing was they didn't need to administer a ketamine dose to stop her from fishing out on the chair. She was having like a fucking fit on that chair the last couple of episodes. They toned that down. I don't think that was a stylistic choice. She might have just said fuck you to him. What do you think was up with that?
Yeah, it is possible that I would assume there is very bad blood between pretty much everyone involved with that show. It must be a horrible, horrible place to work.
It does seem like it's probably a really rough place to work. And by the way, Nala, isn't that the first name of the lion in Lion King, Jerm?
Yes, it is.
So their derivative name and her last name is Aki. And because they got beaten by the Masked Singer, they've redesigned their bridge to look like the stage of the Masked Singer. And it's just fucking weird. Like, doesn't it look like the captain and the crew? Don't they? The way it's set up on the bridge with those very few people, hundreds of feet apart, when we can see them in frame, don't they look like feuding judges on a reality talent show? And thank you, RRTN.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that.
And also there's that same catty energy. And hello, Gap. There's that same catty energy. There's the same disdain for us, the viewer. And I would say, quite honestly, there's the same kind of disdain for, telling a quality story. I don't know if it's a troll. I leave you to answer this one for the tune of one more bite of pizza. Is it a troll, or is he like a prisoner of his own insecurities and unaware that he's doing it? Or is he doing it despite the fact he knows it's wrong with the Masked Singer stage for the bridge of the USS Athena?
I think Kurtzman is a big fan of stuff like the Masked Singer and says, oh, this is good, I'll copy that. Not knowing that Star Trek and idiot celebrities singing poorly does not have a crossover. They're just too vastly different, and Kurtzman never understood that not all entertainment is the same.
Are you saying in his feeble mind, when he saw The Masked Singer beat Star Trek, he's like, that's the kind of stuff people like, that's happening, that's today?
Pretty much, yeah.
Referendum on how bad he is.
Oh, no, how bad he is never occurs to him. He is a textbook narcissist. It being his fault physically can't occur to him.
Do you think when his wife's not around, when he has to sleep, when she's at her girlfriend's house for the night, when he has to sleep alone with his anatomically correct Magatu doll, do you think that when there's no one there, when the medication wears off, do you think, in your opinion, he wakes up screaming knowing that he's the hugest failure in the world, or is it complete Dunning-Kruger? Like a 60-year-old comic book artist who can't draw or something like that.
It's never occurred to him. It's
never occurred to him.
Yeah.
I made you laugh. All right. You really, how does it not occur to like a functioning intellect, or it's just his intellect is damaged beyond all belief?
Yeah, functioning would be a stretch.
Mr. House Party 6 has been amazing to the channel this month. Germ, I think you should take first swipe at this one. It might take as long as it takes for me to chug down some tasty Coca-Cola on top of this wonderful pizza I've been having. As I've been sparing our audience the sound of that, because I came on a half an hour before I thought it was. This was supposed to be the start time. Is the War College is an insult? Run with that as far as you can. Tell me if you agree with it. I would say that the idea that there was no Starfleet Academy in isolation from the rest of the show, conceptually, I'm not insulted that they would have one, but in execution and in illustration, that War College, woof, oh God, go ahead.
Yeah, the War College just doesn't make any sense. If you're starting back up Starfleet Academy, you don't need the War College, because it's not like they separated off the Makos again. So everything should be incorporated into Starfleet Academy. What they really should have done is rename the War College Starfleet Academy. So you have everything all under one roof like it's supposed to be. Because no matter what people think, Starfleet is always the military organization. So I don't see why they actually need two.
JT has said a couple of times, he was the one who first said it, and it went through my mind for a really long time. And it makes, the only way I can square it up is O'Brien talks about a Vietnam-like ground conflict against the Cardis, remember?
Yes.
I don't hate you. I hate what you've made me become. And that was, did they know Deep Space Nine was in the offing, or was that just like, let's focus on a crew member, Calm's in town, we think he's an up-and-coming actor, let's give him a shot?
I do believe DS9 was on the board by that time, and they were thinking about promoting some of the secondary characters off of TNG.
I had thought that maybe the first one where they really knew he was going to another show was the one with Captain Maxwell in the USS. What was his ship called? But Captain Maxwell. Yes, thank you. Great memory. Captain Maxwell, of course, is a Federation hero, but limp soy boy Picard stops him from doing the right thing. Picard should have joined with him and continued the attack, yes?
Should at least search the Cardassian ship at the end. Because the Cardassians were all for it, too.
I forgot about that. Do you think it was because they bought up a decoy ship, or do you think it's because they were always innocent?
It may have been a decoy ship, but from the way the Cardassians act, the captain didn't know what was on that ship to begin with.
Or they
is
were being provocative, and they're like, "Go on there, and our soldiers will kill you, and then we'll take that planet anyway." There's several possibilities.
Yeah, it is similar to the way the Obsidian Order and the High Command act in DS9. Neither side knows what the other is doing, and there is severe mistrust between the two.
The reason the War College stays separate is so women can be stronger than men, and so that we can have a house Slytherining in this stupid show. And hey, RRTNZ, thank you so much with 10 Greenlandian. I'm sorry, 10 New Zealand. It's dollars, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is it pounds? Okay. You know what? It's not Maori Wampum. We know that. May your homeland, prosper. That's from Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire. Tell me, Kurtzman, what do you see when you're in the dark? And tell me, Kurtzman, what do you see when you're in the dark and the demons come? I see me standing over the body of another dead Star Trek series. Oh wait, no, it's okay. I think maybe the psychiatrist feeds that line to him, but I guess the response is from John Malkovich. That's a pretty cool movie. You know what? Alex Kurtzman is Death's Doors, the meme where you see the Grim Reaper going from door to door to door, and it's just like there's been a massacre at every door, and the door's like half open with like a hand splayed out into the hallway, and it'll have the names of various things you care about. Alex Kurtzman has been Death's Doors for like Silence of the Lambs ever becoming a franchise, which we did not need. It's been, and guys, give our RTNs a thumbs up on that chat. It's always great to get as much interaction as possible. We're trying to like convince YouTube by every matrix that this channel can start to punch above its weight a little bit more, which is why we need you to turn notifications on. The only way you're going to survive or find out about us is with that and with staying with the community. YouTube probably will not drop its entire streaming side. I can't see them. Maybe the partner program will get harder to get into, although that doesn't track because that got easier. Or maybe there's a few possibilities, but I don't see them sort of like destroying the original YouTube. I see them sort of, I don't know if they can get an interface clear enough for people to choose, or they're going to prioritize other people on top of us. But I think if we can get to a certain size first, we can either A, last longer, or B, survive the cut. Because when they cut, they'll probably cut from the bottom, right? First, we'll see all the old channels get purged, right?
I would hope so.
Which will ironically restore some people. And thank you very much, RRTNs and our friend, for the very generous super chat. That's from Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire. Tell me, Kurtzman, what do you see when you're in the dark and the demons come? I see me standing over the body of yet another dead Star Trek series. They're not really Star Trek series because they're his, but I mean, yes, your larger point is there. And Mr. House Party 6 thanking RRTN said, "Thank you, sir." Oh, hey, and Mr. House Party 6 with another one with a 10 Greenlandian greenbacks. You know what, sir? You have entered the Q continuum again. You know what? We keep doing these kind of things. We're going to have more member chats, like, during weeks where we can do them. I know Sean has 2 particularly funny stories to tell, although the story he told last night about that meeting at work was hilarious. General Chang's life was but a walking show. Oh, here we go. General Chang's life was a walking shadow, but a poor player that struts and frets upon his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Jam, how's my Patrick Stewart?
Very convincing, Patrick Stewart.
I'm getting better at it. You know what? One of the things, like when people were like, we don't understand why Doomcock let you be on his show and said that you were a good Star Trek reviewer. And my answer was, well, the second one is that I'm a good Star Trek reviewer. Fuck you. And, I think he let me on the show because I was taking so much incoming. And maybe he saw me slightly kindred spirit because he does Captain Kirk, and I don't really do that. But like we both imitate captains of the Enterprise. I do Picard, he does Kirk. He plays his games, I play mine, but I'll always be grateful to him for saying in front of the world that my Star Trek analysis was worth listening to. An issue has always been that I will indulge theories, fan theories, and beta canon, and I do something that has absolutely no larger meaning outside of this show. I sometimes tell people that their Star Trek theories raise to the level of an in-world explanation, which is nothing original to me either. I've heard this term before. Germ, if someone's headcanon is so good that something would have to debunk it, it offends nothing. That's not really headcanon anymore. It's an in-world explanation. What do you think?
Yeah, it's close enough to in-world explanation. And I'd just like to point out Gap After Dark. Thank you for the very favorable comparison of me to Ed McMahon.
You are a fantastic Ed McMahon. I'm looking for the comparison. Where is it?
It's right in between the two.
Oh, there you go. Teag, I just want to say I appreciate the way you entertain. You make me laugh so much, and Jeremy's like Ed McMahon. Always enjoy your streams. I love going on solo. I get a little fired up, and then I can start peeking on the microphone through a whole show, although that seems to be getting into the past now. Who would think after 4 years I'd finally get the hang of the idea that YouTubing is, I can take a different approach, but I think Germ can vouch for this. Germ, is there anyone more excited to go on the air than me?
You're a very excitable person.
That wasn't the ideal answer, but okay. Yeah, I got passion. I came off the charger, 4 bars of energy. I'm ready to go. And you know what? I appreciate it. And Germ is the perfect counter to me. And I don't say this lightly. I think that maybe the hand of fate was on this when we met up through Bird of Prey 5.
Yeah, Bird knew talent. He knew who to bring together.
And he the whole weird thing about it was that Germ and I met through Bird of Prey 5, who's a mutual friend, and we did the play-by-play through an episode of Star Trek Enterprise for him, very much like we were doing the first year and a half of the Star Trek show before we switched to review only. But that was a really fun experience, and it was Enterprise, so it's all the things that ended up being our thing. And we couldn't have been
good coincidence there.
Yeah, and we couldn't have been asked for a better setup than Enterprise. The other show, it was very unfortunate how it ended. It's nice to have Mark come by and be with us sometimes and hang out and see all of you guys. A lot of you are his fans before you were ours, and a lot of you were fans of all of us at the same time because my channel was approaching Clobbies in size when we moved to Saturday, and no one's happy about how it happened. But 80 weeks on, or 85 weeks on now, it's not too soon anymore. And I am so proud of my crew. Maybe the captain could be better. I could do a better job, but Germ is hilarious. Sean's last night, that stuff that Sean made, the Children's Television Network with Admiral Teag, the Admiral Teag puppet, all the other stuff, JT's contribution. I did not like when Saval showed the horror story to Captain Archer in the Vulcan embassy. Everybody's contributions are amazing, and I think a lot of it has to do with with the way this channel had to swim upstream for so long, because not too long after Doomcock sort of gave me his blessing as a decent Star Trek critic, I caused a few problems of my own, and then there was a few other problems that I wasn't responsible for. And then for the last few years, I guess the adversarial nature of YouTubing has come home kind of to roost with me, and I'm just kind of stuck with this one. I try to live by the drinker's rules and not to fight, but every once in a while you got to I see that. Okay, Germ. I every once in a while, when you are just being when you're in the crossfire for a couple of years, like I was, you know what? Fighting back is one thing. Then there's comes something called standing up for yourself. Mr. House Party 6 with a generous 10 Greenlandian greenback says tomorrow. Here, tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day till last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. And so they say you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rains came in. Jerm, when you first saw Elton John, did it hit you that this was a gay guy?
Well, by the time I was born, it was well known he was.
That is true. It was like I was alive for closeted Elton John. Hey, Mr. House Party 610 Greenlandian Greenbacks. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Everyone's loving Germs. Germ, you're having a rare day of like extreme comedy today. Are you trying to supplant me here? Make me into Ed McMahon?
Oh no, I know that Johnny is the entertaining one. Ed's just the rich one.
Ed did hold on to more of his money, but that's because Johnny got divorced from like 8 women in a row. He kept giving away half of what he had left over and over and over. And didn't all of his wives have the same name? It was some weird coincidence. It was like Joanna number 3 or something was the last wife.
It is something like that.
Way to go, Johnny. Maybe go like... It seems narcissistic because it's almost the same name, right? John and Joanna both come from the German Johannes, which means Yahweh is graceful. Bet you guys didn't know that one. But thank you for giving me a chance to read Shakespeare as Picard. God knows it's better than reading the lines that he has in Star Trek, but I'm going to call it right now. Jerm, what do you think? The greatest Patrick Stewart movie comes down to... He's definitely not the star or in a strong supporting role in either of them, and it's either Excalibur or Dune, and it's probably Excalibur. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, both of those are good. I think he did a lot better in Moby Dick and A Christmas Carol, that he made both of those for TNT Network. Those are more his actual style.
I didn't see the Moby Dick one. I did see the one. Oh, wait. Did the Moby Dick one insanely feature Gregory Peck as the reverend who gives the crazy sermon before the ship leaves? Right?
I believe
he's
so.
Ahab. Which is cool because Gregory Peck is in the original movie. And he's pretty faithful to the longer version of that book.
Yes, I believe it's the most true to source material Moby Dick movie we ever got.
They put out Germ from the North Shore of Long Island. Did you know that?
Did not remember that.
Brian Setzer of the Stray Cats is from a town called Massapequa. They're all from there. Massapequa, the Pequod, the Massapequa Indians, the Pequod Indians, those are the Long Island Indians. He's supposed to put out from Long Island. He's putting out from, the book was written by Herman Melville. His descendant is the musician Moby. Moby is a direct descendant of Herman Melville. I guess not surprising. But guess what? Guess what town the ship put out of?
Which one?
Now called Melville, sir. Very easy to remember. You change the name of your town after that. What they don't, why they won't change the name of Walt Whitman's town to Whitman, Long Island, I don't know. He only gets a mall. He gets the Walt Whitman Mall, which is like, remember mall rats when they go to the bad mall? That's the Walt Whitman Mall. The Walt Whitman Mall kind of sucks. The one thing I
I
fucking
think it's
hate.
a poor way to remember a guy like Walt Whitman.
Yeah, but they do sell his book at the bookstore there. The thing I fucking resented the most when I was in college, college professors make a little of their money by selling their book. Usually their book is their textbook, right? So I had to go buy this fucking guy's book and I had to go all the way to Melville. And I'm from Queens. I'm driving overland everywhere, all over Long Island. The only reason I didn't end up like I'm not still stuck out there is because Long Island is only 17 by 100 miles. You can't really get that lost. You know what I mean? Like there are like 60 Floridas strapped together. You know, so 60 Long Islands strapped together to make a Florida. You would be the TNG Q, of course, or if you want, the Corbin Burnson Q. You don't have to be the Delancey Q. You're any Q of your Q. You could be yourself as a Q. You are a Q. You decide that. You don't have to ask me anymore, sir. You are a member of the continuum. You can do whatever you want. If I was a member of the Q continuum, you know, the first thing I would do is I would turn into Q's girlfriend from Voyager and stand in front of the mirror naked for hours. How about that idea?
Not a bad start.
Guys, that chick is Worf's girlfriend and also Dr. Saval. I guess she looks hottest as Dr. Saval because she more or less has her real face and hair without the jelly face, just has the Spock ears. And she looks pretty hot. And in that Starfleet uniform, there's like no room for modesty. You've got to be pretty good looking, which I guess means they're nice guys because they relented and gave B'Elanna the jacket while she was pregnant.
Well, yeah, that was when they first wanted to hide it.
Do you think she has to be counted as the best engineer in Starfleet because she never got to go to a starbase to repair?
Well, yeah, it does help, and she had that weird warp core.
She had a weird warp core. She was using experimental tech. The ships weren't meant to be out there that long ever. None of them. And B'Elanna might just win top engineer. That's why she gets the prestigious, what was it? The prestigious gold jacket did they give her? Or was it a red jacket?
This is gold.
I thought so. And I'm not going to lie. You tell me if you agree. When I'm watching the opening of an episode of Enterprise and it says directed by Roxana Dawson, I'm like, this is going to be good.
Yeah, it's a good bet that her episode would be good every time it came up.
She improves mediocre ones and she makes good ones great. There are no bad episodes I can think of she directed. Jonathan Frakes, on the other hand, at this point, he has lost it and he's an entitled director, or he's just destroyed by his lack of success in the movies. He couldn't manage a budget, and it was just an absolute and freaking total disaster for him. Star Trek, what does he really hit rock bottom in? Is it stumbling out of the gate with a terribly bad Star Trek Generations, or is that not on him? Is the real sin Insurrection, or is it ending with something as terrible as Nemesis? Nemesis might be an improvement.
Well, he directed First Contact and Insurrection.
He didn't direct Generations?
I don't believe so.
I thought he did, but it doesn't matter. That one is, you know what? Considering they're using two different casts, maybe they didn't want Jonathan directing William Shatner. Maybe Mr. Shatner would have been like, and maybe you should shut the fuck up. And Troll Award of, let's give it to him for this year. I don't think it's going to be hard to beat him at the end of the year. Did anyone do better at trolling people than William Shatner pretending to eat cereal at a stop sign to get the Star Trek people, one, to knock their social media out of whack, two, show he was bigger, and then three, the massive flex by saying they suck?
It's gonna be hard to beat him.
And you know what? William Shatner showing that at 90, he can still play the game. Do you think that might have had something to do with him being mocked by them so badly in Strange New Worlds? Do you think he was like, call my agent? No one does this to me. I'm still William Shatner.
I'm pretty sure he took the initiative on his own.
Yeah, I think he was like, oh, damn it. You know what? I've been in this game long enough. No one's going to tell William Shatner what the hell to do. In other news, here's one. Germ, have you heard of a band called Motley Crue?
Yeah, I remember them long time ago.
Yeah, we were joking around about them last night, and they popped up in the news today. The joke is Holly Hunter has to wear dentures because she did so much cocaine in the 80s with Motley Crue, and that's why they gave her the crazy hair. Because Holly Hunter was hot when she was young, and so she has Motley Crue hair now, and also she seems to have no teeth, and they will not let her re-record her lines for anything. They will not let her re-record her lines. So she sounds like Mushmouth. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for her, but she's not intelligible. And I don't think it's really all her, but she is destroying her future employability. I can't even imagine what it must be like to stand on that stage and be handed that dialogue and to see something like when Robert Picardo tried to call off that take in the middle when he messed up the line that Sean and was it JT caught last night? Robert Picardo crashes and burns in the middle of a take, and they kept going. And I think we described it pretty much right. He looks over at somewhere just off the camera, and it's the assistant director or director waving him to keep going despite blowing the line. And he finishes the scene realizing that that they're going to use an unusable take, and that for him to be defending this Star Trek still after knowing how bad it was he locked into a contract or has he become crazy? His previous behavior says locked into a contract, but what do you think?
Yeah, definitely locked into a contract.
He was
but
too
if I
nice
was
for too
him,
long.
I wouldn't be taking a script page without a $100 bill attached to it.
Maybe several $100 bills. Yeah, at this point, I don't know why you defend it. Unless he continues to get paid every time he tweets or something like that. I don't know. Give me 10 grand a tweet. I'll tweet something fucked up. I might tweet something I don't believe. You can buy it back later, right? Just say, you know what? Here's the 10 grand I got for saying that. If he like put up a picture of himself laying on a pile of $100 bills and says like, I'm sorry, but I really needed this money, I'd have more respect for him for taking the indecent proposal and admitting it than to continue to troll us as fans. I know that I'm not getting on the Robert Picardo line anymore for an autograph. That's as much as he gets out of it. I don't encourage anybody to, boycott him. I boycott him. I'm not saying that you should. Maybe you did like him in Voyager. And if you did, you're not wrong. He did a great job. Same with Tim Russ. But these are two people who, before Thanksgiving, we were okay with. Tim Russ has been in trouble for a long time. But Robert Picardo, we were okay with him. Tim Russ, we were willing to look the other way. We're never getting their autographs again. And it's only because they really are good actors that I can still enjoy Tuvok and the EMH. What do you think?
Well, I don't really have any ill will toward Picardo. Picardo, I still believe, is the type of guy that if you get an autograph from him at the convention, he's going to be nice to you and talk to you about just Star Trek, and he'll be very, very friendly. Tim Russ, I believe, is the type of guy who will start going on a rant in the autograph line, and if you have something that he disagrees with, he'll outright refuse to sign your autograph.
So what you're saying is, like, if you walk up to Robert Picardo, he's like, hi, thank you so much for waiting online to see me. I can't wait to sign your memorabilia. And when you hand him something from Gremlins 2, he's like, oh, and like you get a little bit of a personal moment with him, and he probably can be all right, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Whereas Tim Russ,
on the other hand, I don't believe he'll be all right.
Would he ask to have you ejected from the line by security if you were wearing a Cincinnati Reds hat because he's just that dumb and reactionary?
Something along those lines, yeah.
He has absolutely been a dick these last few months. That's my personal opinion. I have the freedom of speech to say it. He has absolutely been a dick. And it started, I became cognizant of it when Deej went live about him tweeting out stuff that wasn't true. Then after the truth came out, Deej waited till the truth was like triple confirmed to call out Tim Russ and do the stream. But that was the first I had heard that he was such a difficult piece of shit, because most of the time he was playing guitar and being nice, but it also coincided with his new Trek contract, didn't it? Although it's lasted.
Yeah, that might be true.
You'll never be the Kelvin Q, by the way. You'll be any Q you want, but I mean that Q would be part of this channel's continuity and therefore could not be Kelvin. Could not ever be Kelvin. So thank you, Mr. House Party 6. Guys, let's get Kurtzman out of here, right? I mean, I think he's been hanging out, staring down at me long enough. I've had enough of your condescending smirk, mister. Let's get him out of there. Get out. Gene, help us, Gene. Gene, they ruin your vision, Gene. Gene, what can we do? If it wasn't for the fact that Paramount had been sold, this guy would be renegotiating right now, wouldn't he? This fucking idiot. And whoa, Ruby Who, thank you so much for the gift membership that you sent. It's good to see you here. We hope we're providing the entertainment. We're doing our very best. And thank you. Thank you so much for sending a membership. The memberships will be available until Tuesday. Thank you so much. I would say 2026 is going to be our darkest year. This is our year of hell. We got what do we have? 2 drops of Strange New Worlds or just one? We have Strange New Worlds drop, and we have a drop of Starfleet Academy. There's no more Discovery or anything else left in the vault. There's no more fucking cartoons. He's not allowed to announce anything, and he might not be allowed to do anything. Give me a minute on your thoughts on what happens when this next Strange New World season lands. Does he manage to top himself yet again?
I don't know how he could. This current season of Academy is the all-time worst I've ever seen it. It's hard to imagine him doing even lower.
Do you like my theory that because he crossed the and thank you so much, Ruby Hoof. Do you like my theory that because he crossed the line in 08, he might actually be done too with no friends?
I don't think that's why he has no friends.
He has no friends because he's hard to like.
Yeah, he's just that kind of person that it's going to be extremely hard for people to like him. And the whole union thing isn't really going to be that big because within 10 years, SAG and the Writers Union, they're gone. Let's
Possibly.
They're not going to survive.
Possibly. It's very likely. Maybe the union will, but it'll be so small. You're going to need some actors, probably forever.
Oh, yeah, you'll have actors, but the unions, as we know them now, they're going to be broken.
It's very possible they won't exist in the form that we recognize them. I absolutely agree. And as we consider that, the other problem is this. If you're someone who is looking at Alex Kurtzman now, what do you see? Wrecked up careers, contracts that had to be paid off before the show was done in droves, lots of expenses hung around for a couple of years after his Magnum show ends, lots of expenses hanging around for a couple of years after his MacGyver show ends, lots of expenses hanging around for a couple of years after Clarice ends. He had a whole TV show worth of written off contracts, and he doesn't manage to get any of those people to Star Trek that I know of. We
Let's
don't
not
see his
forget
MacGyver, right?
Yeah, let's not forget a lot of money where we just don't know where it is.
And that happens again on what we could consider a strange spin-off of Star Trek Discovery, Rings of Power. Also money disappearing. Although last season more money disappeared than the season before on Rings of Power, it looks like on screen to watch it. Gavin, this is always a good that is always telling dad jokes is always the way to go. I think that because they needed to get paid off of Star Trek Discovery, they may well have siphoned some of the money from Rings of Power. It's not impossible. Thought?
It's definitely possible and would explain a lot of things. Something that I'd like an attorney to take a look at.
Maybe even a district attorney.
Yeah.
Mystery, and I don't like mysteries. Give me a bellyache, and I...
The Carthaginians defending the city were attacked by 3 Roman legions. Arab women stripped them of their tunics and their swords and lances. The soldiers lay naked in the sun. 2,000 years ago, I was here.
All right. I just needed a minute there. All right, everybody. Next up on the thing, Motley Crue. Motley Crue, get this. They settled their differences with their original guitar player. Can you even name the members of Motley Crue?
There's the one married to Pamela Anderson.
Formerly, yeah. He's not with her anymore. Tommy Lee.
There's the guy who did that horrible reality show.
That would be also Tommy Lee.
There's the one who did that other horrible reality show.
That might be Vince Neil.
Yeah. And that's about it.
There's Mick Mars was the guitar player. He's out. Mick Mars is out. He's been replaced. And the band's on tour without him. He lost a defamation case against them saying that he was a founding member. And he was like, he had the Motley Crue idea before those guys were around, but founding member, and he retired. Like Motley, like Vince is like 68 or 65, something like that. So, think about it. Mick Mars, like 10 years older than him. It's like Mick Mars, like 73. And he's just like, he can't go out there and be metal madman anymore. So he retires, and they were supposed to get money from the tour. I guess he'll always get songwriting money from the albums. I don't know how much songwriting he did. He was a big part of their sound with the downward picking only guitar style. He loses litigation, and at the end of the day, he's wrong to stop them. He's wrong to make accusations. He was forced to withdraw accusations that they played at backing tracks. And apparently expert testimony with videotape proved that it wasn't true, but they could have just gone and done another concert. And also, like, no word as to whether the performance without the audio tape backing them was any good. I'd also say Aerosmith played with backing tracks for years. Ever been to a show where you were able to detect there was more going on there, Jerm?
Yeah, there's a lot of shows that come through here that they're not giving their best.
Or even an all original show. Def Leppard's a different story. The guy lost an arm. Like, if they need some help with a drum track or something, like that's different. But some of these people just not giving a full effort. Vince Neil and the other guys wanted to go on tour. And the reason why Motley Crue is so active now after retiring is this. They broke up and retired their Motley Crue Corporation because all of Vince Neil's illegitimate kids were old enough to be off of child support, and he didn't feel like paying out any more money. Maybe there's a few still on it, but he didn't feel like paying out any more money from every single show. So they ended the corporation and they all retired. Then they started another corporation with close to the same name, which they own because they own the first corporation. And now they go out and tour as Motley Crue, and they don't have to pay any of their old debts because that corporation went out of business, I guess solvent, but went out of business, ended, and they reincorporated as themselves as their, I guess, their number one cover band now. And so Motley Crue goes out there as, full owners of their own rights and their own name, but in a weird way borrowed from themselves as a workaround so that, okay, Vince got divorced way too many times and has a whole bunch of illegitimate kids. They get money from all the Motley Crue albums that came out up to now and all the Motley Crue tours that he went and did and his cut of every Motley Crue live thing. And the reason they did this was because, did you know Vince Neil had a solo band?
I do remember him trying to go solo at one point.
The rules of most states and most divorces are that if you get a second job, you don't have to contribute that towards your divorce payments and towards your child support because it's they don't add that onto the top. It's like you got that job because you're in trouble financially from the divorce. So they're going to let you keep that money. You get what I'm saying?
Those are very, very kind and forgiving states, unlike the state of Washington.
I think New York pours so much money out of you that stuff like that has to be done. It's not like they're that forgiving here. Strange New Worlds, no fucking good like a space koala, says Mr. House Party 6. Strange New Worlds was it is no fucking good. Just on the Motley Crue thing really quick. He had to pay them at the end of the day, like he still owes them $250,000. You think they'll let it go for old time's sake?
They might. Depends on how bad he pisses them off.
He did sue them and drag them through court, but they didn't bother holding up their tour or anything to listen to him. They laughed him off and went out there and made money anyway. So maybe he saved himself from himself with that. They saved him from himself with that. He doesn't owe them damages, but he caused them to cancel 70 shows for which he owed them like $250,000 or something like that right off the bat. Then he accrued like another like $800,000 in debts or something else. And their buyout of him was only like $500,000.
Yeah, that kind of sucks for him.
I think it's because it was 20% of the Motley Crue second corporation. He'll still draw income off the first corporation and all those records. He just didn't want them out there touring. And he made some accusations. I was supposed to go to a Motley Crue concert in Vegas last year, canceled due to Vince Neil having health issues. Must have been a rehab stint. It could also have been his voice. What's weird is Vince Neil has been known to go out there with a terrible voice. Have you ever seen any of that video where he just can't sing?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to sing since probably the 2010s.
Here's the deal. Instead of retiring and getting a new job, which is the solution now, he was going out with the Vince Neil band in the same towns on the same night. Like the 2 nights after the Motley Crue show, you would get a Vince Neil show. So it was bad. It was the same set. And it was Vince singing even more. And then he would show up late to the next city after the other guys are there getting things ready. Breeze in, maybe do another show before your show, then do your show. Then do another show for himself because he's so behind the 8 ball with all this money that he owes to all his exes. So Motley Crue they ended their corporation to stop him from diluting their own brands by going out there as a member of the band in good standing at that time, playing his songs and theirs real bad and not being prepared at all to be the Motley Crue guy. And sometimes he looks like the snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So all that was kind of running together.
Should just teach you a valuable life lesson. Stop getting married. Stop having kids.
If you're going to go out there and have sex with groupies without having any precautions, at least get a goddamn vasectomy. Ozzy Osbourne did it. So, Miss Katonic, I guess you will not have to see. It could have been rehab stint 203 too, but the last few things we saw from Vince Neil, he was being more normal I think the fact that he doesn't have to work like crazy anymore and maybe like he never cared in the first place might be it. You tell me. Loose balloon knot. Well, that would be like all the Mrs. Vince Neils, although I would put TBI from couch surfings. You watch it on the couch? Well, we'll try to keep it entertaining. By the time Vince Neil got to stripper wife number 5, I would think that he had had so much observational training in plastic surgery he could build his own wife in the garage. What do you think? Just order the parts. I need 2 breast implants.
That'd be cheaper.
Maybe that's what he finally did. That crazy old man, at least you'll finally get allegedly a better Motley Crue concert when he does show up. But that's our Motley Crue thing. I guess in the world of Star Wars, what we have is Daisy Ridley has assured people not to worry about her Rey movie. It's still coming, and maybe the Mandalorian and Grogu might just lead into that. But thoughts?
Well, she still has the contract. They never canceled that. So as far as she's concerned, they are making the movie.
You could end the Mandalorian movie with them running into Rey and never pick it up again and just give her all the money, right?
You would hope they would do that. But it's all going to really depend on if they actually go through with replacing Bob Iger this time.
The last time it didn't stick. This time he's training his replacement, but they're replacing him with like what? Like a stunning and wonderful woman. So she'll probably be great.
It's a mini Bob, so
he may have fucked himself with this contract. Yeah. The worst story we heard is, Jerm, do you remember a band by the name of Van Halen?
Yes, I do remember Van Halen. Both
I like
versions.
how Jerm has. Like there's 3. Remember Gary Sharon from Mr. Big, or was it Extreme? But I like how Jerm gives it the consummate, the commensurate like moment of disbelief. It's like, did he really just ask me if I knew like the sky was blue? So Van Halen, since Eddie Van Halen's gone, it lasted a long time. But maybe he got one last round of NDAs before he died. But have you heard some of these insane stories?
I've heard some really screwed up stuff about Eddie Van Halen.
The Michael Anthony one I heard was that right before the 1984 tour, as he's getting ready to walk out on stage for the opening night, 2 lawyers jump him and say, sign this contract or you are done. And he agreed to something like $1,000 a week and no more royalties going forward after 1984. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, especially for basically being the band being named after him.
No, not Eddie Van Halen. Michael Anthony's the bass player.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen was the one. Eddie Van Halen was the one who pulled it, and the one thing that was really kind of weird was, I don't think Sammy Hagar would ever lie, so his story was pretty convincing. Michael Anthony has every reason to lie, but he's backed up by Sammy Hagar. And then the weirdest thing was Alex Van Halen going and doing an interview where he explained why he sold his drums, why he doesn't give a shit, and how he just was like, Eddie was the one who had the kind of like business-like ideas. And what am I going to do? I stuck with my brother. He wants to kick out Sammy. Fine. He wants to fight with Dave. What am I going to do? He thinks that Mike can't play bass. I'm not going to tell him he's wrong. He's like one of the greatest guitar players of all time. I'm going to tell him he's wrong. So I just, I did my thing. And like, what am I going to do? Jump out against my brother? I didn't dislike the other people. And he told some stories about how much he liked David Lee Roth and how he had fun with them, and a few stories about how much he liked Sammy and how he had fun with them. And same with Michael Anthony. And his thing was he got hurt, maybe mountain climbing or something, and broke his spine real fucking bad. So he's not that mobile. And so he cannot play drums.
Yeah, that really sucks. Something like that happened to you.
I feel bad for him. He lost his brother, and now he's not that mobile. And the other story we keep hearing is that, have you heard this one? That it's really tough for Wolfie Van Halen because he has to go around expecting to make an apology tour for the late Eddie Van Halen whenever he runs into anyone established, because basically told everyone they suck.
Yeah, that is kind of a burden on the next generation sometimes.
Maybe he should go by Wolfgang Bertinelli.
That might help.
Does Mick Mars get 5% residuals? Residuals get taxed really crazy high. I found that out from being a YouTuber. Although maybe not in California. If any place is going to be easy on residuals, it's there. But apparently California got so woke and has so many laws that they're having trouble doing any production there. Have you heard this terrible tale?
Yeah, they're getting really high on pretty much all taxes. I'm not sure if they tax residuals directly, but everything else they keep bumping up and bumping up. So it might as well not exist at some point.
I'd speculate things like the residuals, they'd be nice to. They want to be nice to the actors, but I bet the actors were like all with the state when they took it to like the studios and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like withdrawing your filming tax credit. New York has a lot of filming because they give a huge tax credit. And in fact, LA is doing so bad that Only Murders in the Buildings season in LA was only in LA because there was no production there. They didn't want to do it. They're all from New York.
Yeah, and let's be clear about this. There is no such thing as a tax credit. It is just the state not being a complete asshole and taking your money.
It depends. I mean, you also get other stuff. Traffic control.
That's a complete separate deal.
It's a little bit separate, but I mean, the idea that you would have to join a club to bid for the license to have one, that kind of makes sense.
I'm not big on licenses.
If you want to film like in a major city, you kind of have to organize it, or you'll fuck everyone up and you'll get nothing done. The movie Joker, Clown Employment Agency, is that what we call it? Clown Employment Agency, where he hangs out with the other clowns and he gets the job holding the sandwich board. Remember that place?
Yeah, I remember that one.
That's the Highlander building. The building that says Silver Cup Studios on top. That can only be that building. How do I know this? It's not that far away. That building, when he's putting on his makeup in that really amazing shot from behind, where he's being shot from behind and he's turning himself into like the early version of the Joker, the non-malevolent one that he would do storefront, promotions with, where he's being turned into that. You see him in the mirror. And out that window, you see cars driving up an on-ramp to a major structure. Do you remember that scene?
Sounds familiar.
That's the on-ramp to Manhattan of the 59th Street Bridge, one of only like 3 ways to get there from Long Island. Major traffic artery to New York City. They had to close that down and keep driving the exact same period-specific, movie-specific cars up and around that ramp. So you're talking like 300 or 400 picture cars to keep the line of traffic going in a perfect circle and closing down a major thoroughfare. You would assume they did it early in the morning on a weekend and they got like 2 takes, but that does have to be organized. And I would say we got such a fantastic shot out of that. No one thinks Joker is the greatest movie of all time because of what happened with the second movie, but in isolation, wasn't that a pretty good and immersive experience?
It was okay. I'm not going to praise that movie overly because of Phoenix, but it was okay.
He's an acquired taste. You can take him or leave him. He's also like a 58-year-old man playing these roles that are from younger people. It's time for him to move on in his career just a little bit. I don't mean stop acting. I mean different roles. And it's time for Hollywood to stop being so safe. He can't play. Pedro Pascal as an action star is a little ridiculous,
to say the
especially when
least.
he won't get in shape.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. How are you going to have an action star that pudgy?
Especially one who's able to stretch and manipulate the size of his body to look any way he wants. Why would you want to look like somebody stretched Mr. Fantastic so many times and he just has no more elasticity left? Like, what is this? What are the implications for the man's dick?
That poor invisible woman.
Well, I mean, he's got the invisible penis. But the thing is, I don't think she's in danger of it, whether it's visible or not. How many times has she seen it? Sex with Pedro, if you're a woman, involves a lot of drinks in a very dark room.
Yeah, and hopefully a mask.
For both of you.
Yeah, but especially put it on Pedro. I wouldn't want to force any woman just to stare at that.
It's incredible, really, that he's considered handsome or that he was considered like anything but just like a weirdo. He is a pretty good actor. I'll give him that. But I don't like his style.
The mustache is creepy.
What's that?
The mustache is creepy.
He looks worse without it.
Surprisingly,
yeah. Remember, he can only look creepy. That's just like it's not his fault that way. Like genetically, there's just something about him. He should only be playing villains, and he comes of age in the era of ugly actors. And so, like, remember, the last guy who was debatably handsome was Russell Crowe, and Russell Crowe is like a poor man's handsome guy. He is not a good-looking dude, and he's not a great actor either. But he's Russell Crowe, and he has some presence, and he has some gravitas. But Russell Crowe's like, that's when being ugly starts to creep into like Hollywood. Like, he's kind of an ugly dude. And
he's what you call ruggedly handsome. Pedro is what you call ugly handsome.
I'll go with you on that because at least with Russell Crowe, when he was younger, had the physique and stuff like that. Now he looks like just like a big fat guy. By the way, the Highlander trailer looks like shit, in my opinion. Your opinion?
I haven't gotten to see the full thing through yet.
There's not much to see.
Yeah.
They seem like, again, their idea of Highlander doesn't jibe with what my idea of Highlander was. Let me get that out of there. Show you something. Let me show you a little something. There's nothing to see with this one. It's real brief. It's real brief. So you see Scotland. There's Hank. Now, all I can say about that outfit is it's good enough. It's a little bit of a matrixed up version of his of the Highlander outfit. For those who don't remember, Highlander just wears a t-shirt, a trench coat to hide his katana, jeans, and a pair of Reeboks. Pretty much, right? I got that right?
Pretty much,
White Reeboks. Yeah. He dresses contemporarily. This one, what is he? Like, is this post-World War I trauma for our Highlander? I just don't know. So here he is in my town. This is New York, or a town that has been well doubled for it. And as you can see, they've wet down the street, which is very nice of them. And maybe it really did rain because you look in the corners towards the building, there is no water. So doesn't look like the way traditional water trucks spray down the street. They may have gotten there on a rainy day because it's even a little wet on top of those metal awnings, unless that's just a dent. Okay, nope. They did wet down the street. The tops of the metal awnings are dry. Okay, Germ. This at least, what do you think of this? And by the way, the voiceover is like, I'm Connor McLeod. I've lived a bunch of different lives. But here's the part that really fucks me up. Why is Ramirez dressed this way now?
I am guessing he is a phantom of some type.
That went through my mind. You would really hope this is Ramirez's Force Ghost, right? Because if he met him in New York now dressed like that, what was he? Both Hank and him were downtown, and this is what they call, quote unquote, the second introduction. And what's with the cape of peacock feathers? They call him a peacock in Highlander 1. They had to take it to this point. So I'm not liking that. Hey, it's from Amazon. What a surprise. This just looks like he's out of time. And no, I'm glad I'm not the only one who can't shave in the musketeer type thing up. My goatee's never perfect either when I have it, so good for him. At least we know he's one of us, but looking less ugly in his old age, but that's because he looks the same as he did when he was 30. He was an old-looking 30. There's Dave Bautista as the Kurgan. I don't really dig the outfit that much, but it's faithful more or less to the other one. He's closer to the Kurgan than when we got with Connor.
He's not doing a bad job. The costume seems accurate enough, a little bit stylized, but I think Batista he looks believable.
What's weird, though, is we're seeing the Highlander Immortal. We're seeing the Immortals from the Highlander Pantheon dressed in their medieval clothes now. This is clearly a modern building. So we're seeing these, but like Sean Connery's Ramirez seems to be being reprised by Russell Crowe, and he's wearing a weird peacock feather cloak, and he's dressed in Baroque clothing. And this guy, he's just got his medieval early Renaissance outfit on, and everyone is quite clearly in the modern day, and only Hank Cavill is dressed like a modern person. So there's Batista. A little bit of sage advice here from Ramirez. Right now,
Waldison, I think you're right. Kurt Russell does look a heck of a lot like Herman Goring.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. There's no denying it. He needs to make that movie before he dies, right? We need to get like Downfall Part 2. And let's face it, in his first role, he plays a Yahtzee. What came out last year? Him playing Herman Goering?
Yes.
Oh, I want to see that. What is it about his time in Spandau?
It's Nuremberg.
Right, so that he's kept in Spandau. The Spandau prison is where the Nuremberg trials prisoners were held.
Yeah,
the accused at Nuremberg were held at Spandau, which was a Yahtzee prison.
It's actually a pretty good watch. I recommend it.
I'll check it out. I love history. And, hey, Spandau Ballet, that's where they got their name from, that new romantic era band. When Les Paul tells you, you get the guitar. Yeah, well, when Les Paul tells you, you get the guitar. Absolutely. I have a Les Paul designed SG. It's the guitar that Angus Young and the guy from Sabbath, Tony Iommi, used. So give you an idea of that one. Nope, I'm a Russell Crowe fan, says RRTNZ. I knew Welsh was going to say that. I'm in it. I'm in for this film. I'm in for this film too. I just have doubts. Like, I'm not liking the images. Like, this image right here presents doubts. Like, this is holy ground. Why isn't he slicing him to bits? Is this just an out of context text picture from their production facility of them in costume?
It might be.
You'd have to almost hope so, right?
And I'm a little bit forgiving about, you wearing the barbarian clothes in the middle of New York. So let's face it, that won't really stand out in your city at the moment.
I'll spare the joke about whether he should or shouldn't have an ice patch on his shoulder. I'll leave that to our audience, whether or not you think the Kurgan should have it. But obviously Hank's from Scotland. Maybe Dave Bautista could, read him his rights and bring him to Alligator Alcatraz. I don't know. Something tells me that Hank is going to prevail in this movie. I would say this movie's been in development so long. Shouldn't Hank's role be as Ramirez? And shouldn't Timothée Chalamet be our immortal if we want to get 3 movies out of this team? He doesn't have 3 movies this young. He's going to look considerably older in 6 years when we get through 3 movies. He is. Not a lot.
The plan isn't for movies after this. The Amazon wants a series.
With him?
That's to be determined.
Are they returning to some sort of serial filmmaking where we'll get 2 Highlander tales a year? Highlander in World War II, and then in 6 months, Highlander in the Cold War, or something crazy like that?
That might be. The only thing I've heard so far is they want this to launch a series on Amazon Prime. No details about the series. Don't know if it's going to be Cavill or if they're going to switch out for a Duncan character or what they're going to do. So it could be anything at this point.
Are you mentally prepared for, is it Rory McLeod of the Clan McLeod from the Highlander cartoon with the janitors? Like, how shocked would you be if they source it off that? Just like, as you stand there watching like fake Sean Connery explain the janitors to like fake Henry Cavill. Because it's Amazon.
That would be trippy.
That would be. Heck, I don't think the Highlander TV series can be done either. Go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry. We
have so many McLeods in the Highlander lore. It's ridiculous at this point.
They're not sending their best anymore. The chap that played the main character was all there needs to be done. I mean, I think they nailed the main character with Henry Cavill. I'm going to be honest, like Henry went from like 36 to 41 waiting for this role. He's going to go from 41 to like 47 if they make 3 theatrical movies. That might not be noticeable, but then like if those are really good, you're not going to want to stop. And like, what do you do with a 51-year-old immortal? Like he's going to look older. That's what hurt the Highlander crossover movie with the TV people. Although that movie was the best possible, only possible logical ending for them, I think, to combine and end together. That made more sense than anything else they could have done. Quentin MacLeod, is that the one from? Yes, Jason Love has seen the cartoon. Jerome, I think he's right, isn't he?
Yes.
Jason Love, way to go, my friend. Jason has seen the Highlander animated series. It's a good animated series. I liked it. Was it a little weird? There were some holes in it. He was born. I knew he was born in New Zealand. He isn't an Australian citizen. I knew that. And that's why, he's such a good actor and a bad musician. If he was from Australia, he'd be a great musician and a bad actor. Look at AC/DC. Pretty good at the music. Not so good at the acting. Look at Kylie Minogue. She can't act, but she can sing and she's real, real hot. I think a 3-minute long video where she walks around looking hot in lingerie is really the medium for Kylie Minogue, who's now like 60 and I would hope retired. But yeah, and hail New Zealand for RRTN said. How is it to be home? It's gotta be high summer by you because it is the depths of winter by me. Hey Jerome, you know what I learned from Landman about winter?
What's that?
No, let's not redo this movie, Sig. Every day from now until June 21st, the sun is going to go down later. Every day. That's true. The days are already 20 minutes longer than they were like 10 days ago. I think we gain a minute at the beginning and the end, right? Or is it 30 seconds?
Something like that.
It's not noticeable till daylight savings time, but how far away were we from that? 2 more months? Is it usually April? Right around baseball season, right? March, end of March?
Yeah.
Sure. You've earned the right to do this. Before we go on with the Highlander video, we'll advance one more frame. Jeremy and I will comment on this after I give him his chance to expand on the Super Bowl and your feelings about the Super Bowl. You're muted.
My feelings about the Super Bowl is this is just the first. There's going to be at least 3 in a row for Seattle.
Want to talk a little bit about your quarterback?
You will be going with torches and pitchforks to the owner's home for the New York Jets.
But I wasn't wrong when I bought my Sam Darnold jersey, was I? I wasn't wrong to think that he was a great quarterback and that he had greatness in him. I wasn't wrong at all, was I?
No, you're just about 7 years early.
Yeah, he needed to develop. I also said, I didn't know you then, but I was saying very, very vociferously, he can't start. He can't start yet. It's too soon. It's too soon. He shouldn't be like a first year starter. He didn't have that much poise to be a first year starter. He needed to sit in the bench for a year. His career probably would have
starter.
Dan Marino.
It is asinine to have a quarterback start in the first year. 1 in a million chance that they don't end up destroying themselves.
What's funny is that it's every third year the Jets take a chance on a defensive coach developing an offensive player to break a curse in New York and win now. No one has been able to do even one of those things to the Jets, but they keep rolling the dice that someone's going to be able to do all of them. They won't get an experienced head coach. They will not get a known quarterback. And if they do, he's always so far past his prime, there's no point. But yeah, I think you're right, and I wish you luck with your Seahawks. I'm rooting hard for him because, when you win, our owner looks like a fucking asshole, and I love that. So here's Hank with the wrong sword. What the hell's going on here? Why does he have a claymore?
Maybe they didn't want to go with the katana to begin with.
We see
might get that near the end of the movie.
You're right. Maybe Ramirez is still alive. This might be where the Kurgan gets Ramirez, huh?
It might be.
Because the Kurgan gets out of that by collapsing a building onto the Highlander, which is what seems to be going on here. And then, of course, they have not really changed the logo much. You know what? He looks pretty chilling there. The jury's out. The video is in the trailer is hard to assess. It passes the costume test. I don't know if I like Matrix Highlander. I think I liked him in like more street walk around everyman clothes. He's dressed too cool and too heroic here. He's too self-aware of being the Highlander. He's not trying to blend in. He's dressing like a rock star. But aside from that, I won't call that a major problem. What did you think of what you saw?
The only real problem the only thing I would have added outright is I would have added Queen to the trailer.
They should buy the songs, you're saying?
Yeah, buy the song, put it in the trailer. It needs to be in part of the movie. Everyone associates that song with that franchise so much that you can't separate them.
But which song? Born to be Kings? Princes of the Universe, as it's called? Or Who Wants to Live Forever? Because for me, it's Who Wants to Live Forever.
Princes of the Universe is the one most associated with it.
I love that song.
Who Wants to Live Forever is secondary. They put that into film, but for example, Born to be Kings was the intro track for the series. So everyone knows all across the franchise.
That's true. But every song from that Queen album is in that movie. That album was made for that movie. Every song on the album relates to the movie. The song they leave out is a song that wouldn't have fit in the movie, but the movie soundtrack, the album, it's released in two weird ways. There's a movie soundtrack with just the 6 or so Queen songs that make it into the movie because people are listening to them on the radio and it's playing in places where people walk in, so they work in other songs. But the 5 or 6 Queen songs that make it into the movie are on there, plus their orchestral pieces and their original music or whatever that was put in there. But most of the songs by Queen are on their own album, which features a few other songs. That one is called A Kind of Magic. I don't expect you to remember it, but do you remember the Secretary of the Highlander? The one he's in the European only. Now we can see it. American release doesn't have it. The original American release didn't have it, but he saves her from the Holocaust.
Yeah,
remember?
The one that
she's
he has a not 100% appropriate relationship with.
I think it's appropriate till she hits the right age. I don't think the Highlander cares. Like he didn't save her because he thought she was beautiful. He saved her because she thought she was an innocent child. He wasn't thinking of her that way. It is a little weird, and that's why it was cut for America and thought of as okay for Europe, though.
Well, yeah, the Europeans, they don't have a problem with that sort of stuff. We have a little bit higher standards over here.
They have absolutely no intentions of extraditing. They have absolutely no intention of extraditing Roman Polanski. Would be the best way to put it, huh?
Yeah.
So there we have it. The Highlander trailer, not completely accessible yet. I'm a little concerned, but not deeply concerned because I gave up on this movie like 2 years ago. If it happens, it happens. If it's good, it's good. Am I right?
Yeah, at this point, I have no expectations for it.
Do you think it's good? What's better? Recreating that famous end fight, just making it better in the same location and having that cool, iconic Silver Cup sign that everyone in New York sees all the time? Or should you move them to another part of the city and have it be like a wild fight across like New Yankee Stadium or New or City Field or across the roof of Madison Square Garden where some of the movie happens in the original movie anyway? They have like a duel in the parking lot to start off Highlander 2 in Madison Square Garden. Parking garage.
That's Highlander 1.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Highlander 2 is a piece of garbage. It starts off with him crying about how rotten life is.
Yeah, I believe it starts off with him just whining and just giving an overview of what happened with him creating that stupid energy dome, whatever it was.
Giant pair of sunglasses around the entire Earth. And yeah, he's just sitting in an opera staring into space, really sad and really old. And then he gets like a jolt of like electricity and he's just fine again. And Sean Connery is just like a force ghost who can like, oh, we're from the planet Zeist. The story on that one was they made the first movie to be a standalone movie and it made so much money they were forced to do it. And they didn't really want to. So what they did was they made it to European standards and just released it as like a European B movie, like not even a good European movie. And like, then Highlander 1 starts like rolling downhill like an avalanche in America and like blows Willow out of the video rental spots and people just care about Highlander and they realize it was a really great movie and they've got this stinker of a sequel that they should just burn. So they release it in America to make money. And then the next one Mario Van Peebles. It gets weird.
Yeah, the third one is just...
The third one's is Mario Van Peebles, right?
Yeah, I believe so. It's not as bad as number 2, but he's facing some type of wizard in number 3. It's just odd.
Recap on Opera Starts 2. Yes, it took me a minute to remember that. But who can forget it because it drags too. Like, they play a little too much of the music. I remember being like 8 minutes into Highlander 2, and I'm like, this movie seems like it's going in a very bad direction. And, my review still stands. There could be only one. Yeah, rewriting it to Atlantis is a better idea. Making it anything but the planet Zeist is a good idea. Like, at that point, like, you start calling the Stargate people and saying, can we combine franchises? Yeah, okay, so he's the sorcerer, Mario Van Peebles, master of illusion.
Yeah.
I feel badly for Mario Van Peebles as we get ready to get to the nitty-gritty here and get out. You know what? I feel bad for Mario Van Peebles because he made one of the best movies ever in New Jack City. And if that movie's not great, how is, of all people, Ice-T still playing a cop 30 years later? And he just doesn't get to make movies anymore. I don't know what happened. He had one good story in him. You tell me. I don't know.
I really don't know what else Mario Van Peebles has done.
He was in like a few movies. He was an actor more than a director. He tried to go into directing and his directing ventures just fell. His sword in 3 was awesome. I'll have to check it out. I'll say this. His sister was hot. His sister was Nia Peoples, if you remember her. She was like an MTV VJ, and she had a couple of hits. Nia Peoples.
Oh.
Yeah. 90s era.
Wow.
So. Oh,
you wanted your money back on a dollar view of Highlander 2, RRTNZ.
You know what?
I'd say you overpaid.
Did you actually go ask on principle? I mean, not that I wouldn't respect that. I mean, it was bad. The movie I asked for my money back was one of the Alien versus Predator movies was so fucking bad. And not to mention that there was some people sitting behind me who just like, let's just say in New York, there's a group of people who like to go to the movies to have a loud discussion about life. It's where they're most comfortable.
They have that same discussion here.
Yes. By the way, that is his best line, and Chris Rock's best line is Scotty, beat me up. As Scotty is beat me up, get me out of here. Because he's stuck on the Enterprise, which is there are so many Star Trek jokes in the movie New Jack City. The hero's name is Scotty, and Chris Rock's last words are "beam me up" when they kill him in the crack factory. Posse was the one where he's a cyborg, I want to say. Posse, no, he's just an old West badass black cowboy. It's not the worst movie, but that seems to be the end for him. Like, no, wait, The Legend of Jesse's Gold comes before Highlander. I'm going to say New Jack City goes well, Jesse's Gold doesn't, then he's just an actor, then Highlander tanks, and then he was in trouble, and then he was probably quietly doing TV without us knowing it. What do you think, Jerome? Under the radar on TV?
Probably. As I said, I don't really remember.
We're going to make this the final question we answer. Jerome, what's going on your channel this week?
Tomorrow we have the conclusion of the Forge trilogy. We wrap up everything with the Vulcans. They'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Saving Star Trek pre-show watch party.
Wow, he is still working. He does about one movie a year. He's an actor. He has 53 directing credits, 114 acting credits. So he kept directing. I'm going to guess TV. He did the Salt and Pepper movie as the pastor. He did Outlaw Posse was made in 2024 as he plays Chief. So it looks like a reprisal here. He plays Chief in Armed in 2018. So I guess the Posse guys have kept going forward without any of us realizing it. He's in one episode of Law and Order, one episode of SVU. He makes the Robbery Homicide Division show. Doing a lot of series television, doing good. Okay. He was in a movie called Solo, but it's not the Solo movie. It was a movie called Solo. That's why that Solo movie has the appellation of a Star Wars story. And Rogue One has that underneath, but they never call it that, and you never see it listed that way. He was in the fucking Cotton Club. All right, so he's still working. All right, guys, as we get ready to get out of here, don't worry about it. There are no problems. There are no problems. But let me just check really quick. Posse 1993. Let's see if his name's Chief in that one. New Jack City, he plays Stone. Jesse. No, so Jesse, yeah, I didn't think so. All right, so whatever. We're going forward in possibly the world of Posse. Maryville and Peoples are still out there. I'll be back tomorrow night, first with Germ, and then with my show. I'm with Germinate on his channel, which is in the description page for this YouTube show, and in the on the bottom of my channel page, where I recommend people like him and Mark D with a C and other quality YouTubers, Stark of Iron, etc., etc. And we'll be back again with yet another very high energy version of Admiral Teag's Friday show next Friday. Till then, you know what? We will see you guys soon. And I think you've seen her for long enough, but you know what? You get one more look at her. Germ, what do you think? The first weekend of the year, you won't lose any money on football. How's it feel?
Oh, it'll be amazing.
It's been a long road. All right. We love you all. Can I finish? Oops. Wrong button. It's this one.
Doesn't anyone see that this is wrong?